Welcome to the Cameo Renee podcast. This is a place for those who refuse to sit back and wait for life to unfold. If you're ready to break free from the slow lane and seize every opportunity, you're in the right place. We're all about taking action, making shit happen, and creating the life you desire. Join me as we dive into powerful conversations and strategies that will help you grow your mindset and chase your dreams. Welcome, guys. Welcome back to the Cameo Renee podcast. My name is Cameo, and we're here with somebody so special to me. I love her energy. I cannot wait for you guys to get to know her just like I have gotten to know her. So we're going to jump right in. This is Tali. Welcome.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being here.
Having me. I'm so excited to be here. This is so great. I'm so proud of you. Let's just start.
Thanks.
Let me just start by saying I'm so proud of you. This is amazing. Amazing.
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, you like threw me off. I wasn't even
girl, because I know we're here for me, but like this is your spotlight. Like this is fire. This is so fire. So definitely giving you your flowers on that.
Thank you. I'm really excited and thankful to have you as one of my first guests because you are just fucking killing it. Like, you're fucking killing it. And so let's just jump right in. Tell us a little bit about where you are now and where you were before
Before all of this.
Before all of this, yeah.
Okay, so where I am now, I just opened a new studio / academy. A huge upgrade from like where I was before. So that's super exciting, but it also is a new path that I've never embarked on. Mm-hmm. It has been a lot. It's been very overwhelming. So even hearing you say, like, I'm killing it. I mean, I wake up every day and I'm like, am I really killing it? Am I really? Because it's hard out here, girl. I'm like, it is hard. I feel like some days I'm just like on the floor, like,
You just gotta keep going.
Just literally army crawling my way through this. So we just opened a new studio / academy. I am a board certified instructor now for permanent makeup in New Jersey, which is somewhere I've wanted to be since literally day one, since I sat in class. I was like, this is what I want to do. Like, these people are the ones that I admire. I know I'm learning, but like, I want to get up and teach people like right now. Like, I think I can do this. I think I could do everything, which is, I guess, what keeps me going. But the problem is like, I want to be a master now. So sometimes I have a hard time being the student. But aside from that, I now not only have a studio, but I have employees. So I hired artists, and that's a whole nother journey, is building clientele for them, which is where I feel like I've reached out to you so much. Like, how do we do this? Like, mentor me a little bit. Let me kind of like, follow, like hold your hand through this a little bit, which I appreciate.
Always.
I don't know where we would all get if we didn't have that.
Right.
So aside from the studio, aside from employees, I mean, just the construction and like the decorating of the studio, like bringing this vision.
Can we pause? First of all, if you please go follow. What's your Instagram handle?
Idolized Brows. So
right
EYEDOLIZED Brows. Idolized Brows.
Follow because
I thank you.
Because the interior design that this woman did.
Oh my God.
Incredible.
I had to stay. This is the trickiest part of all of this. And I'm sure we'll get into it more, but the hardest part of all of this is, right, we're running a business and we have things like branding and marketing and like color themes to go with and like aesthetics, right? And that, I think, has been like the hardest part, is translating like me expressing myself in my brand and expressing myself in my studio, and staying true to that regardless of all of the voices in my head of like, it should be aesthetic, it should be chic, it should be this, it should be that. And I followed that for so long, and I was like, guys, I am busting my ass like day in and day out. I'm literally saving, I'm like shitting money into this, and I'm like, why am I doing all this? To make someone else happy and aesthetic. Like, this is what it's supposed to look like. And I'm like, I'm not even what it's supposed to look like. So let's actually like regroup and let's rebrand with a new team. Let's rebrand. Like,
how did you go about doing that?
Oh my God, it was hard because I genuinely had a conversation with a branding team where she was like, these are not, like, your studio has too many colors, like, you're doing construction and it's like too much, you know, like you're going off brand. And I'm like, okay, then we need to kind of like find a middle ground. Like we need to find a way for it to not look crazy, right? Like I'm not trying to look like ghetto, I guess, in a way, but I'm also, I need to be true to me. Like I've worked hard for this. I'm not like that chic girly girl in pink and like the tans and the whites and the neutrals. I'm like, look at me. We need to stay true to me. And I think a part of that, a big part of where I stood on my 2 feet with that was standing out has always gotten me farther in this industry. Like boxing myself in made me blend in with everyone. And I tried that. And I'm like, but I'm not getting interactions anymore. Like people are not vibing with me. They're not commenting. Like I'm not having the same conversations that I used to have. And why? What changed?
I feel like I'm always talking about authenticity.
It's so true.
And when you aren't authentic to yourself, you're going to attract the wrong people.
1,000%. And you lose that relatability. You lose like your personality. I felt like I was losing relatability. It's like and like my identity. I would look at my Instagram and I'm like, I don't really feel like this is me. This isn't me. This isn't the person that like I am fully behind the scenes all the time. Like I'm this goofball. I'm personable. Like I want everyone to be comfortable. I want to get to know my clients. Like, I mean, even we're here because you started out as a client and we had that like that vibe from the beginning.
Which, by the way, I mean, obviously you're gorgeous, and from Instagram, it could be very intimidating, like with all the tattoos, like you're this beautiful woman, you're successful. And you don't know a lot of times what you're going to walk into. And I was like, okay, she could be like
a bitch.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
Literally
you said
that.
it.
Literally.
Or like chill vibe, or, you know, like not really talkative. Like I just, you know, you don't really know. When I came in, you immediately made me feel comfortable.
And that is, I hear that often, and that's my first goal. It took me so long to even open my studio because I was like, I want it to feel comfortable in here. Like it needs to feel like when people walk in, you want to stay. And I'm like, aside from just the way that my employees handle themselves, I handle myself, the way the studio aesthetic is, I want it to be comfortable. And I want people to know that I'm not intimidating. And that's part of even the branding as well. Like I have worked with teams where the content that they're having me put out, I'm like, I'm reading the captions and I'm looking at what I'm putting out and I'm like, damn, I'm like, oh, that was a little harsh. Like, you don't have to talk to them like that, you know? Like, hey girl, get off your ass and get to it. Like, no, that's like aggressive. Like that's very aggressive. No one wants to be spoken to like that. So I'm like, no, like, let's talk about how I was where you were. And like, it is scary. And like, let's not just be like, hey, go from today and tomorrow you're going to be a millionaire. No, that's like insane. Like that's like super intimidating.
So let's go back to that so you started in your home.
Yeah, I started in my kitchen. I had a client come over, and I shouldn't even be saying this, but I'm going to say it on here. I'm going to say it. Oh. I had a really nice kitchen. It was a beautiful kitchen, by the way. It was gorgeous. It was a really nice apartment. But I had a client come in yesterday, and she was like coming in for a yearly touch-up, and I didn't even know she was like riding with me that long. And she was like, girl, oh my God, your studio's so beautiful. Like, it's so amazing. I can't believe you come so far. She was like, girl, you started in your kitchen. I'm like, you were there? You were there, girl? You were there for that? Like, literally in my kitchen. I was like, started in my kitchen.
That's awesome. And what a testament to you to still have somebody who has been
quite a few people still writing it. And sometimes I'm like, I hope these brows were good. These kitchen brows were good because, oh my God.
Obviously they were.
I'm like, oh my God. It was so early on. There wasn't really much of like, there wasn't many regulations. No one really knew what it was. Yeah. So it was like, yes, I had the proper schooling, but we really didn't know where we were supposed to be. Yeah. So we were all kind of just like winging it.
It was so new.
It was so new. And I was like 8 years ago, I was like, no one knew what the hell I was doing. Everyone was like, are you doing hair transplants in your kitchen?
Like, what's going on?
What are you doing? How did you do that to her eyebrows?
So then how did you, because when I came, we were in a really nice area in your house, and you made it this, I mean, I came when you were in the process of moving, but it was still beautiful. Yeah. So when did you go from kitchen to making your own little studio in your house?
I went from kitchen to a bedroom in a house where you literally had to go through my living room into the bedroom, which it was crazy. You hear my son running around in the background. I was like, guys, come on. So I'm telling my 3-year-old, like, please be quiet. Please, I'm trying to be professional in my bedroom. To a bedroom, to like a kind of like makeshift basement situation where I literally had like curtain rods going. Like, it was an unfinished basement, literally had curtain rods closing off a part of the basement with like gym mat on the floor to try to hide the fact that it was that, and like literally tried to do what I could to make it look cute. And then where you found me was I moved into a new house, and I purposely told the real estate agent, like, listen, I need a finished basement. I need a bathroom in that basement. I need a side entrance. I need to make it like feel like it can be a studio. And that felt great for a really long time. And then after a while, I'm just like, guys, I feel way more elevated and professional than what this is giving, the image that this is giving. Like, I have to get out of here. And especially the fact that I wanted to teach. I'm like, you know, kudos to my first couple students that rode with me through that.
Yes.
But I was just like, I can't. Because then I started feeling uncomfortable by the, oh, I didn't know it was in a basement, but this is nice. This is so pretty. It was gorgeous. But I would get that reaction of like, oh, I didn't know it was a basement. And I'm like, I'm bigger than a basement.
Yeah.
I'm bigger than a basement.
Just give me a second.
Give me a second. I'm working on it. So then now when people walk into my studio, they're like, whoa.
Yeah.
What the hell is this? Because I went from a basement to like this huge studio. And I'm like, guys, I had this in me the whole time. Like, this is who I was the whole time. I was just comfortable. And I was just like chilling. I just needed a second.
Yeah.
I just needed a second.
And here you are.
So it's baby steps. Baby steps were the most important part. I tell people all the time, don't try to jump into the bigger picture, because my bigger picture is even far beyond where I am right now. Just look at the next, like, put the next foot in front of you and focus on that one. And past that point, you can keep like stepping. That's all you need to work on, is like baby steps. And then before you look up, you're like somewhere else.
Before you did this, what were you doing?
I had a 9-to-5 job. I was miserable. I actually used to work 7 to 5. And I had my son, he was newborn. I had to work 6 weeks while, like, I took 6 weeks off after I gave birth to my son. I worked my entire pregnancy, literally did not take a day off until I gave birth.
Oh my gosh.
Worked the entire time, 7 to 5. Stood home for 6 weeks and worked during those 6 weeks from home. I was miserable. So when my son was sleeping, I was up working. I literally was exhausted. I went back to work 6 weeks later. My son was like the size of my hand. I was just like, I in my mind, I thought he was going to be like this big kid.
Yeah.
He was tiny. And I was like miserable at work, 7 to 5 every day, spending more than I was making at a construction company. I worked at a remodeling company. I was doing customer service. And I would literally go home on my 30-minute break to check on my son. Like, literally wouldn't even eat. I would just go home like, I just miss him so much. And all of those things, I mean, eventually I fought for the 9-to-5 position. And I was like, I just can't. I can't take my son to, like, daycare. I can't, you know, like, by the time I get home, he's, like, already, like, settled in. It was just, I was miserable. I was like, I can't do this. Like, I can't function. I can't even go to the gym. I'm like, I have to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to the gym. I have no life. I felt guilty about, like, leaving. It got to the point where, yes, progressive, you know, like, fast forward, he would have like the little Halloween parades and things like that. I'm like, and I would feel guilty about going. I'm like, can I take a longer lunch to go and see this parade? And I was just like, I can't be doing this. I have like no money saved. I can't even save money. Like, I'm barely making it with bills. I'm miserable where I'm working.
So what was the pivotal moment?
I would go into work and at like 9:05, I was like angry. I'm like, why am I doing this every fucking day? Yeah. I'm like, I've really got to, I want to be there for my son. I need to make more money. I'm miserable here. This is not something I'm passionate about. And I kind of got into it by accident by doing freelance makeup. I was always very artistic, and I kind of self-taught myself makeup. And that's when YouTube was huge. So I was like literally learning on YouTube. Literally. Then it started becoming where I was doing my own makeup for fun. And then my friends were asking me for makeup. And then they were like going places. I'm like, I'll do your makeup. I'm like, I don't even know if I have the colors for you. Like, I don't even know if I could do this. So then they were going places and people were asking them like, oh my God, who did your makeup? And then they were like, hey, my friend wants you to do their makeup. And I'm like, what, me? Like, me to do their makeup? I'm like, girl, tell them $20 because whatever they get is what they get. Like, I don't even have all the colors here. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. $20 makeup. And then it just started building, and I was freelance makeup for a while. So then I got into like doing, it really got to the point where I was doing like weddings, and like people were calling me. I was like, oh hey, I love this. for me. So that was like a little chump change in the pocket, you know? And the thing that stood out is people were always like, I love how you draw in my eyebrows. Oh my God, I wish I could stay like this. Like, this is so, oh my God. And then when I came across microblading, I'm like, maybe I can get people's eyebrows to stay the way that I'm drawing them in because everyone seems to love them.
Boom.
And boom. And I was like, I mean, at the time people were learning in Brazil. I was like, I don't have money to go to Brazil. I can't do this. So it was like a year of being interested in it. And then finally, boom, I found a school that was teaching it. And I borrowed the money. I didn't even have the money. I literally borrowed the money and was like, you can take, I borrowed it from my boss. I was at that company for 7 years. That was the only thing I ever asked this man for. And I'm like, you can say no, or you can say yeah. I mean, I was like, what's the worst he can say? I mean, no, like, okay, I asked. You know, I've never asked for anything. So, and I was like, this guy's a millionaire.
You took a chance.
I was like, literally, he's a millionaire. Like, what's the worst? I can't say no. The class was like $3,400 at the time or something. I'm like, you could take like $100 out of my paycheck every week or whatever. I'm not going anywhere. Clearly, I've been here this long. He said yeah. And then fast forward 2 years later, I left. I was able to leave that job. Took me 2 years of literally working a 9 to 5, being a mom, being in a relationship, so being a partner, and hustling in my kitchen. In the evenings, I would take like one client in the evening here and there, just close referrals, and work weekends, and feeling like at that point a terrible mom for cutting the time that I did have. Yeah. The guilt of that was huge.
The mom guilt is so
the mom
real.
Guilt, the relationship guilt.
Yeah.
My relationship actually ended around that time as well, where I was like, I don't think I would have progressed to where I am now, because at the time I gotta be honest, my partner was not supportive of that, of like the time. It's like some people will support you until they're uncomfortable, right? Until it takes away time from them. And it's like, now, you know, I had to do it in my kitchen. So it's like, now, you know, my partner had to be in the bedroom, like while I'm in the kitchen with clients, and, you know, it was like sacrificing living room time. So I don't think I would have been here if I didn't get over the guilt of all of that and like push through and actually step away from things.
That is incredibly hard to do.
It's super hard because you don't even know what you're betting on at this point. I didn't know if I was going to make it anywhere.
You had to bet on you.
But I was like, this feels before right, and I have to do it. Yeah, it felt right. So I'm like, I have to do it. I want to go somewhere. I just can't keep doing this. And fast forward to now, I mean, like, single mom, right? Making my own schedule, having a studio, having employees, holding down my own household.
Were you always this confident?
No. Oh my God, no, never. I literally didn't know. No, I didn't. I had no idea. Like, at that point in my life, I have to say I was so low that I had no other choice but to bet on myself. So that's where the confidence came from. And I hate that people have to they always say, you never build up to this place until you've like lost everything or you're just tired of your own shit, right? Yeah. And I try to encourage my students to not get there, or just like followers. I'm like, you don't need to get there. Don't get to your lowest, because picking yourself up from your lowest is confusing, because you have this pile of shit on you and you don't know where everything is coming from. Yeah. You don't know, is it like my relationship that's making me unhappy? Is it my job? Am I being not the best mom? Am I just like uncomfortable in my own skin? Am I not being true to myself? Like, I don't know. I didn't know who I was at that point. So I was just like, I just have to start sifting through everything, like sifting through to figure out what it was. And it was just so overwhelming to find confidence. And in the process of starting a new career, being a new mom, ending a relationship, wanting more for myself, not really knowing where this was going to go. Microblading and permanent makeup was nothing back then. Yeah. So I was like, is this just going to be a hobby? Is this going to be like a side hustle? I had no idea. So fast forward to now I stand on business. Now I'm like, no, this is what I want. I know if I put in the work. Yeah. Half of the time I don't know where I'm going, but I'm like, I know where I want to be. And
yes,
if I just keep progressing.
I speak on that all the time. When you have a vision, you know, for me, you know, it's God, the universe gives you that vision, and you need to take it, and it's given to you for a reason.
It's so true. It's so true.
And even when other people may not understand your vision or see it, they're not meant to.
No.
So pushing through all of those, you know, why are you doing that? I don't.
Those are the same people.
What if you don't make it?
That'll be like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you.
Girl,
I can't believe you did it. You're such an inspiration. I'm like, girl, I had someone, I remember this. It's so crazy. I remember this. The girl's probably going to see it. I had someone when I was like in my learning phase, literally kind of shit on me. And she was like, yeah, I don't want someone new doing my eyebrows. Like, and I get that. I do get that. But it's the way that you say things that sometimes you're just like, damn, you didn't have to say it like that. You know, like you could have just like, hey, no thanks. Like, not at the moment, whatever, you know. And then fast forward was like, and at that time I was doing brows for like $50. I was like, I would do them for free. That's the thing. People don't want to be bad. Like, they don't want to go through the ugly phase and the bad phase. And you have to go through the bad phase just so you can be a master. And that's where people, I have students that they're like, oh, should I be charging $500? Absolutely not. Are you giving $500 eyebrows? Right. Because you're not. So you give what you're worth at the moment, and like you need to be humble. So yourself. I was doing things for free. I'm like, whatever I can do to get this practice. And she was like, no, I don't want to. And then fast forward, she was like, oh my God, I want you to do my eyebrows. I was like, yeah, you shit on me back then, full price, girl. Yeah. Because you didn't have to word it like that. You didn't have to come at me like that. Like, I was just like, damn, you know, I was going to give it my all. Like I was really going to give it my all. I was going to give you good eyebrows, I swear. But it's true. Like, you have to just keep your eye on, like, where you want to be. Yeah. But listen, you're here right now. And I'm like, you're the reason why I think about my end game. And I'm like, when I get there, am I going to be comfortable there? Or am I going to find something new to start up? And no, here you are. You are not going to be comfortable. Here you are on a podcast. And I'm like, miss, I open salons and cafes and bubble teas. And I do all these things. And I'm like, oh, now we're on a podcast. Because we've reached our peak. And we're like, no, we need more. So I'm like, no, I love this. I love this.
The entrepreneurial journey, if that's a word. It doesn't. Like, you get to a top of a mountain only to climb to the next top. You know, and if you don't keep going, then for me at least, like, we need that. I need that.
We need that. It's like a purpose. It's like, we need that. It's like, we know we have the drive now. That's all you got to do is like literally unlock that part of yourself where you feel like, oh, so if I just spend an hour a day putting energy into this or into myself or into my business, things pay off. Like, oh, so things happen for me. And it's genuinely that. So it becomes addicting. You're like, oh, okay, so if I spend an hour a day maybe just like Googling something, will I get somewhere? Maybe if I spend an hour a day like promoting myself, will I get a new client? Like, and it's that simple. It's literally that simple. I tell people all the time, like, literally just invest 30 minutes a day into yourself or into your business or what you want to do. And I swear you're going to see something come of that.
I love that.
30 minutes a day. I love that. And there's no excuse. Listen, I'm going to be the first person. I tell my students, I tell everyone, excuses don't fly with me. Yep. I have people like, oh, my kid is sick or my this is sick. I will literally be shaking my son and with a tattoo machine practicing. I am the hardest on myself, and I'm not going to drag anyone to the finish line, my students included. I will hold your hand the whole way, but
there will be no dragging.
There's no excuses. I don't give myself excuses. Like 30 minutes a day, leave your shit set up, leave your machine set up, leave your practice skin there. Just pick up the machine and 30 minutes a day do this because it takes you somewhere, it pays off, you get better. Anything, Googling something, like I bet your baby's sick, but you're on Instagram. Yeah. Your baby's sick, but you're on TikTok. At least go on YouTube, watch a video on how to, fine tune your skills, how to take better pictures, how to market yourself on Instagram. Like, the internet has endless amount of free resources available. And it's just what you choose to spend your time on.
Did you take any courses on business or marketing? Like in the beginning when you had to learn how to get yourself out there? Yeah. What were the steps that you took?
So I initially started with Google, right? Because they gatekeep information. A lot of people gatekeep. I did
we don't gatekeep here.
We don't gatekeep. We don't gatekeep at all. No, you hit me up. I'm like, listen, this, and this. This is how you do it. So I don't gatekeep, but a lot of people did. And I would look on the internet. I would look for mentorship. I paid $15,000 for a mentorship. But until that, I would do online classes. I would do YouTube. I would read. I would trial and error it. I would do anything I could. Any class I took, I would ask questions.
And what point did you say, okay, now I need a mentor?
When I wanted to start teaching.
Okay.
I'm like, I need help transitioning into that because I don't know. I got to a point where I was like, I don't want to try 100 keys for this door. I want to limit it to like 5 or 6. Yep. I want someone to give me the answers, and now I have the money to invest back in myself, so I'm just going to do that.
Okay. Let's unpack that, because I feel like so many people need to hear this. When you are at a space where you feel that you're stagnant or that you've reached a place where you know that you can be doing so much more, a mentor is
It's so valuable.
Important.
It's so valuable. Some people you don't want to invest the money in it. But it's so valuable because they're telling you, like, they've been where you are. Yeah. And I can't tell you how many people I look up to, including you, who are ahead of me and are where I want to be and like where I'm going, and building those relationships or looking for guidance or just listening. Even if they're charging, like, pay the money, you know?
So you said 15K, right? 15 stacks, guys.
15K.
How much did you make the next year?
Oh my God. What? Girl.
Yep.
Girl, like double from what I was making.
Yep. Same.
It's huge. It's huge. No, it's huge. It's huge. It's so big. I can't tell you. I mean, there was so many things that I was like, damn, I didn't know that. Like, oh shit, I could be doing that.
You don't know what you don't know.
The fine tuning of that, or just like like, oh, you know what? I could have been doing that and I haven't been doing that. Or like someone holding you accountable you don't get that in life at all. Like, no one does that. Like, just even encourage, if someone tells me like, hey, you're doing a great job, I'm like, oh my God, thank you. Because you don't have to say that. You know, like, no one owes you anything. They don't owe you anything. They don't. So like, I listen. If someone gives it, everything is a gem. Everything is a gem.
Yeah.
And there's been some really great people that even I'll follow on Instagram, and I'm like, this is a boss bitch. Like,
I make sure that I do that on Instagram because
what they say, I'm like,
yes. What you see on Instagram, TikTok, anywhere, like where your eyes and brain are is what you're going to be and what you're going to live. So I make sure that my feed is filled with inspirational things, successful people talking about, you know, how they got there, what they're doing. If you don't do that, you're just feeding your brain garbage.
100%. I mean, even the people you surround yourself with, like, relationships for me are now so important. Like, I need a partner that gets the hustle. Yeah. Because it's not even just as simple as, you know, I hate to say it, sometimes if someone is comfortable where they are, they don't understand your drive because we never turn off. Yeah. I'm always working, right? I mean, I force myself now to...
It's so hard to stop.
Manage my time. I literally had to like separate my phone, have a work phone, don't take it with me, leave my laptop type of thing to like shut off. Yeah. And thankfully now I'm at a place where I have a great team that runs my social media, and my assistant is amazing, and everyone gets to like help me and like answer messages and things like that so I can turn off. And the investment in that is priceless. Like, it's so valuable.
You don't become great from being average.
Yeah, and you need a team behind you too. It's huge.
You can't do everything. No. And you need to be able to delegate, because you can't do everything. No. But the fact that our brains work in a way that not a lot of people's do.
If you don't have that, that's what makes you unsuccessful. Like, it's that. It's like, you don't need to know in any of these industries, right? Like, you don't need to know art. You don't need to know, you weren't born making coffee and bubble teas and doing hair. Yeah, doing hair. It's like, you learn the same way you learn a language, the same way you learn math and how to speak and English and grammar. You can learn these things. It's your dedication, it's your will, and it's like tapping into that part of your brain. And a lot of people don't tap in. It's not because they're not capable. It's because they're fucking lazy. Yep. It's laziness. You're comfortable. You're lazy, and you just don't want to. Like, you want to give yourself excuses. That's just what it is.
That's cool, but you could stay over there with that.
Yeah. I'm like, I just don't give myself excuses. One of my friends told me, when I was opening my studio, this is huge, I was going through everything, and I was just like, oh my God, every day I'm like, it's a fucking problem. Like, oh, can I catch a break, you know?
Yeah.
And I would I'm big on giving myself the day to be mad, or the couple hours to be mad. And then I'm like, I have to keep going, right? Like, I sit down and I think of, okay, if I stop right now, if I let this stop me, if I get so frustrated that like I can't deal, what happens, right? So then I'm stuck in my basement. I'm not progressing forward. I am miserable, and I'm a part of me in, let's say, a month, 2 months, a year is going to feel irritable again and want to pick that back up. So, okay, so you know what? Let me just get it over with now. Like, right? Like, have the day, get through it. And one of my friends told me, I'm like complaining to her and I'm like crying and I'm just like, I just can't. And she's like, you know what's funny? She's like, for me, if that was happening to me, I would have taken it as the universe is giving me a sign like this isn't for you. Versus you're taking it as a sign of like, I just got to keep going. Like, I'm not going to stop. I don't have a choice.
Yep.
I didn't give myself a choice. I never had a choice. Like, never through that journey did I ever feel like I had a choice of quitting.
Same.
Never.
It wasn't an option.
It's not an option. I'm like, because I know where I'm going. And guess what? I hate to say, but I got to climb through this fire, over this hill, roll around. And then after a while, I was like, you know what, Lisa, just reprogram your brain. When you want something, the universe is going to test you. It's going to ask you, okay, you want this? How bad do you want it? Like, pay your dues. Blood, sweat, and tears. Give me a limb, an arm, a leg, a toe, and now you can have what you want.
Yep.
Because I'm like, I just owe the universe. I just owe blood, sweat, and tears. That's it. I'm paying my dues right now. Like,
that's it.
That's me paying my dues. And
it's okay to cry, guys.
It's okay to cry. And I'm a thug. Let me tell you. You see me, and that's the intimidating part of me. I'm like, no, I could do it. I could do it. I could do it.
Thug it out.
Thug it out. Get up and cry, dust it off. But I'm like, I'm like, guys, I'm like at home crying. But, and I do want to say that the reality is some of that did rob me of the experience of like, I don't think, and still to this day, I don't always have that moment. Like, I get these compliments and they're like, you're killing it. You did this. How did you do it? How did you do it? How did it feel? And I don't think I ever had a moment at that, like at the finish of it where I was like in my studio crying the way I thought I'd be. Like, oh, I'm here.
Time.
I didn't have time. I think the biggest moment for me was, I think, getting over like the permits and the construction and the inspections, that when they finally were like, you can open, even though my studio was still like in shambles and like ugly, I was just like, guys, I got the fucking permit. Oh my God, I got the permit. Like, oh, I don't have to deal with these people anymore. Like, that for me was the moment where I was just like, they dragged me.
Oh, hell yeah.
They dragged me that I was just like, I felt like I got my ass whooped and I just had to take it. Like, literally, like if I was getting initiated into a gang.
Yes.
Because I couldn't say anything. I couldn't fight back.
It is kind of like that because yeah, they're just beating you up and
beat you up and
you got to stand there and take it.
And you have to take it because if you fight back, then they do it harder.
Yep.
So I was just like, oh, whoop my ass. Do you want coffee at the end of it? I could bring you coffee. Yeah. Your shoes are so nice. Thank you for stepping on my face with them because they're so nice. So are those gorgeous. Jimmy Choos? Literally here just like dying.
Yep.
And now, you know, people are like, oh my God, you must feel this, you must feel that. And I'm like, I don't.
Not really.
I'm still not where I want to be. So I hope at some point I have to like remind myself, like take a second and be proud of yourself because you do need that, but we don't give it to ourselves.
So there's a book. It's about people like us who don't take the time to congratulate ourselves, to celebrate, to just take 5 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
To say like, pat yourself on the back.
You did good today. That was a good day.
Good job. You hit 100K in one in 1 year or in 1 month, wherever you're at in this journey. Like, like pat yourself on the back and
be proud.
Take that moment because if you don't, you fall into this like black hole of, what's next. And you don't stop and look behind where you came from.
I'm so guilty of that. I'm guilty of that.
And in the stage, when I was in this stage, I didn't even celebrate. I didn't celebrate anything.
Yeah. I haven't even done a grand opening yet.
Because I didn't have time.
Literally haven't done a grand opening. I'm like, it has to be finished decorating. It has to be this, it has to be that. It has to be like, the OCD Virgo in me is like, it has to be perfect.
Oh my, no, I'm glad you told me that because I'm going to be there.
You are going to be. No, you're absolutely going to be there.
No, I mean in your
in my DMs, like, girl, are you planning?
Texts,
what are we doing?
In your call log, we're planning this. We're also going to go out.
We are going to go out, right? We are going to go out and we are going to celebrate. And I can't wait to make it like this vibe. And hopefully that's like the moment where I get to just like,
Girl,
you know?
like you're a bad bitch. You're a badass bitch who's like fucking killing it.
I'm trying, girl, trying so hard.
You're doing it.
I'm like,
you're not
like,
where you see yourself in your vision.
Mm-hmm. And that's why it's hard to like give yourself those flowers during that way.
That vision will constantly be evolving. So
100%
you're never
bigger
going to
and bigger. So you have to learn now to give yourself those flowers.
Be in the present.
100%.
Be
100%.
in the present.
100%. It's like that constant, you give yourself that constant, it's like the day-to-day constant pressure of like everyone, no matter what, this is the only thing in business that you're like, shit. I did kind of like this part about working the 9 to 5 because I'm like,
girl,
everyone goes to you though. Like I'm like, I have to have all of the answers at the end of the day, whether it's construction, architects, design, you know, content, like I have to have the final say. And I try my best to like, okay, I mean, I'm so thankful that I have built a team where even content, I'm like, I can trust them. Mm-hmm. They're like, they see what I go for, and then they're better. I'm like, oh my God, this is great. Like, I love this. Like, I love that you guys are better than me. Because in my mind, I think I'm the best at everything. And I'm like, no, you guys are better. That's great. I love that.
Amazing.
And my assistant comes up with like these great ideas, and she's so like, her initiative that she takes and things. And I'm like, oh my God, this is great. Yes. Like, love this for me that, you know, you guys do things sometimes better than me because it's hard. Everyone goes to you. They're like, well, what should I do? Or, okay, if we need more clients, what are we doing? Or if we need this.
How was it hiring your first employee?
I got so lucky with my first assistant. All of my employees, assistant wise, have been clients first. So it was cute that I got to kind of know them like as a client, which is still superficial because you could be whoever you want to be at the appointment. But
I feel like
my first assistant, my assistants are like my writers. Like I'm still cool with like everyone. My first assistant is literally living her best life, like elevated her career. She was never meant to stay as my assistant. She was meant to be like a boss herself. And I'm like, go fly. Like, I love that for you. You rode with me for like, she rode with me for like 3 years, literally in the basement with me. Like, girl, I got you, and was killing it for me. So that was amazing. I got really, really good. I got really lucky. I did have one person that worked for me that I was just like, FMO. Like, what is happening? Like, calling out not even calling out, just not showing up, and just like, I'm like, guys, and just like the audacity, it was just a lot of audacity, and I'm just like, I don't wanna, I feel like I'm giving you so much in like the arms and the legs, and you're just like, now you're stomping me too, and I'm like, I gotta let you go. Yeah. So that one was hard. That was a hard one because I'm just like, I can't, like, you can't I was doing everything on my own at one point. And my clients and what I stand for and the like my values and my brand, I'm just like, you need to be comfortable, you need to be cozy. I want everyone to feel like a VIP experience. Like, this is a luxury service, but just about who I am as a person, I don't want to be that intimidating person. Like, you come in, I'm like, give me a hug. Like, I want from the beginning of when you reach out to me to the end to feel like you were MVP President Obama when you walked in. And it's just like, just not the experience, like not just like the customer service, but like relating with me. Like, I want you to feel like you got to know me a little bit better, and like you want to come back because like you like me. I want you to like genuinely see who I am, and I want you to know that I'm likable, and I want to like ask you questions about yourself and all of these things. So I'm like, you can't work here and give that. Like, I can't have people like, oh, hey, I haven't gotten a response in 3 days. What? No. What? Absolutely not. No, absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not.
That's the hardest part, in my opinion, is firing people. I hate that.
And you
part
probably
of
say
my
more
job,
than I do.
especially if I like you.
Yeah. Oh, I fired a friend.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, I don't think I should work with friends anymore because that was a bad idea.
I did that a lot in the beginning too.
And it's not a good idea. I'm like, let's not. My assistant now, when she first started working for me, I'm like, don't become her friend. Don't become her friend. Don't become her friend. I was like so stiff with her. And I was like, you gotta do this. You gotta do that. You gotta do this. Like, that was it. And then as it grew, I'm just like, but I love you.
Yeah.
But I love you so much.
Can we just be friends a
and
little
now
bit?
I just call her like on the side. I'm like 2:00 in the morning. I'm like, hey, so can we just talk about like a personal thing, you know? Like, can we? And she's amazing. And I'm just like, the team that I have now, it's great because I feel like there's so much respect, and that's what you need though, is building relationships with people who actually respect you, who see where you're trying to go, who value your brand, your business, like your vision. And then now you guys can, like, I can let my guard down a little bit and be like, hey girl, like I really like you, like could we chill?
Yeah.
You know, and we can separate the two. So I've built a team where I feel that comfort, where we can literally switch into joke mode, but then we can get into work mode.
I love that.
And it's like the perfect balance, because I'm that. I tell people when they work for me, I'm like, I will literally go from laughing and joking to like, wait, but why wasn't this done?
Yeah.
In 2 seconds. And like, you need to kind of be okay with that, because I can be very strong personality wise. Like I can joke, and I am the biggest jokester, even with my clients. Like they come in, I'm joking. But when it comes down to like your service, what you're getting, I'm serious.
That's your money, girl.
I take it serious, but it's someone's face. I'm like, this isn't a joke, you know? Like this is
also that.
these people are trusting me. Yeah. And not only will I pack up shop and die if something goes wrong, one bad day I'm like, I'm just giving up. This is like, and you have to work through those feelings too, because I am
you
that.
Have to. I
will literally want to pack up and go. I'm like, I'm just gonna crawl in bed.
So okay, side story here. I paid $10,000 to learn how to run my salon in a better way.
See?
And it was amazing. But one of the founders of this, it's called Summit. I love them. I don't regret starting with them at all. They're incredible. They really helped me. But one of the founders told me on a lunch break, I went to him and I said, hi, thank you so much for all of this. I'm so great. I'm like sweating bullets, and, you know, I'm stuttering just like I am now. And I said, I just can't picture myself letting other stylists do people's hair and being okay with them not doing as good as a job as I can.
Yes, yes.
He looked at me and said, you need therapy. If you can't handle that,
I'm like, okay, you could have said therapy. Maybe just like you'll get comfortable. You could have taken it a little easier. But sometimes you need that. You're like...
I cried the rest of the day.
The rest of the
day.
In my opinion, a little bit of harsh mentorship. Like, it was a little too harsh. You could have been like, listen.
It was a man.
They gotta be... I would have been like, listen, you know, there's another way we could say this. Like, it's uncomfortable now. You gotta learn to let go. And you'll get there. No. But you have to give. Try it out. He just punched you in your gut. Face. Literally, you need therapy. I would have been like, what is that even?
And then I went...
So should I just quit?
No, I got therapy.
That's it. I went on WebMD.
Yeah.
And filled out the free form.
And after I cried and had a little pity party, I got therapy, and it was probably one of the best things that I learned at that summit, because I had to learn to let go.
Yeah.
I had the control issues, and if I wanted to be successful in the way that I knew I could be, I had to let go and let God and know and trust in myself that I would be a great leader.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
When I was in that space, I didn't feel that.
Yeah. I
felt I could be a great hairstylist.
Yeah.
I didn't know that I could be a great leader.
But it is a hard place. It's a hard place because I still struggle with that. Some of my employees now, they're like, oh, did I overstep? Did I this? Did I that? Like, I don't want to feel like too comfortable. I'm like, listen, for me, as long as we have respect, as long as you don't take advantage, I want you to genuinely love being here. Like, when my assistant says, this is like, post on Instagram, this is my favorite place to be, or like comes in on her day off and she's just like, I just want to hang with you guys. And I'm like, what? That is me winning. That's my sign of like, I'm doing good as a leader, because it's not about being a dictator. I've been there where it's like, people just don't value you. And I want you to know that I value you. So I am big on words of affirmation. I give it to everyone that works with me. I will let you know, like, love that piece of content. Like, love what you did. You guys are doing amazing. Like, you know, my assistant, you did great. Like, I appreciate you. I'll randomly give her a raise. Like, just want you to know, like, I value you. Like, if I'm rich, we're all rich. I tell my whole team that. Like, if I'm rich, I don't care if you're doing the same job that you're doing now for this pay, and nothing changes. If you don't even give me more, I will pay you more.
Yeah.
Because if I can have that, like, I want you to feel like this is where you want to stay.
Yep.
So that's 100% what I do. My employees come in, I'm like, give me a hug. Like, let's hang, let's this. Because I want you to love being here. I want you to feel comfortable. I want you to feel valued. I want you to feel like I see you. I see your potential, and I'm, like, always feeding you like that, you know?
I feel like that's why we also vibe really well, because a lot of people, I am also that way, very much. And so many people have told me not to be that way with my employees.
You got to know the balance. It's balance.
But I have found the balance.
Yeah, it takes time.
You know, okay, like you said, I could switch up in a second.
Yes.
Ha ha ha. Okay, can you go clean? Like, the floor is not clean. Like, that's your job.
Yeah.
You know?
100%. There's about, it's trial and error. And I can't say that I haven't been frustrating for people at times, because I don't sometimes always, like, maybe I'm not letting go in the right places. Like, I should be letting go here, or I shouldn't be here, you know? So it took time. Even as far as, like, my brand image, I'm like, no, I'm grungy, I'm gritty, I'm tattooed, I'm dark, I'm like edgy. I want it to be like a vibe, you know? And there was people that were like, no, like, you need to be this. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna stand on 10 toes down on this. Like, no. Or if there's some type of, like, I mean, I will challenge my team too, and be like, I don't really as harsh as it is, I'll be like, I don't like that piece of, like, content, you know? Like, I've been there with other teams where I'm like, I don't like that. And I know that as a creative, it's hard to hear that, because they feel like they're putting everything into it. But sometimes on my end, I'm like, you do better than that. That's lazy. Like, that's not really, no, you could do better. And I've had to let go of teams for that, because I'm just like, this is where I have to stand on my, like, I can't let go here. Yeah. Because now we're being, like, mediocre, and I hold myself higher. I'm going to hold everyone that works with me higher. And now it's like, okay, I can let go here, and then I can stand firm here. Yeah. And here's the boundaries. Like, I'm like,
that's so important to be able to say, learn. Like, not to allow people to drag you down here, but to bring people up here.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm like, we all seem to now understand, like, everyone knows how I am. They know how I work, what's important to me, what I look for, the standard of, like, where I put myself. And my entire team is amazing. Like, I know they feel the pressure from me sometimes, and I know they're probably like, oh my God, you know, it's taken time. Because even, like, everyone that's worked with me, they're just like, oh, she's frustrating. Like, she just needs to let go, you know, like, let go. But now it's like, you're in my brain. I've put you in my brain, because I've, like, fought with you back and forth so much that now you genuinely know, like, okay, Talisa doesn't like this. She likes this. She doesn't like this. She's looking for this. She's not going to budge here. Like, and now we can flow. And I never even thought I'd see the day where, like, I don't even do anything on social media really now. I'm like, I never thought I would see that day either. That's like, amazing. Of fully letting go. Even my messages, I would be in there like, no one answer the messages. I'm going to do it. And my assistant's so amazing. Everyone's like, Millie is so great. She's so amazing. Oh my God, she's such a pleasure. I'm like, really? I was was just telling her to smile yesterday. I'm like, Millie, can you smile? Smile. Smile when they walk in. You're too stiff. And then she's like, everyone's walking in like, Millie's amazing. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, she is amazing. She's so great. I'm like, she's like, meanwhile, you're telling me to smile, you know? And I'm like, okay, I could let go. And I feel connected to my brand. I feel like my Instagram is true to me. My aesthetic is true to me. My color scheme is true to me. My studio is true to me. I only hire students. And that's where I was like, that's where it feels my comfort too, where I'm like, I don't know if I can trust an outsider. So my employees that do work for my clients, it's because I've trained you. So I know what I've given to you. You've done an apprenticeship with me for months, and I can see the work. I see your potential. I see who you are, because I don't just look for skill. I look for how you are as a person. Do you come in? My employees come, like if something is struggling, they're coming in and like practicing on their day off, and I'm like, I see that. Yes. I see that because that was where I was. The wanting more, the drive, the respect you give for people around you, how you interact in the studio, how you interact with clients.
Yeah.
Because I refuse to bring a gossiper in house. I refuse to
bye.
bring anything but good vibes in house.
I cannot do a shit talker.
No. I will literally, we are not doing that. I'm so selective with the vibe, the energy, because I'm bigger on energy than anything else. It's your energy. So how you're meshing with all of us and like the energy that you're contributing to the space is huge.
I tell people all the time when they're in the interview, you know, you may not be for us, we may not be for you.
1,000%.
That's okay. It doesn't mean that I'm bad, you're bad. You know,
there's no hard feelings.
No.
It's like a relationship. You need to be okay with that. We're dating, and like it might not work out.
Honest about it.
Yeah. If something's 100%, that is the biggest thing is honesty. Mm-hmm. If I am too rough, if I did something with like communication is huge. It's literally like a relationship. It's like it's more actually because you're with them more. I'm with my team more than I'm with someone that I'm dating or in a relationship with. And I'm like, we have to be able to communicate. I need you to feel comfortable. I want you to feel like this is fun. I want you to feel like you're learning and like I'm feeding into you. There's like so many parts of this.
Yeah.
And we need to have honesty.
Okay, so now that we're getting to the end, I keep flipping my hair, guys. I like, wait.
It's the hair for me.
I love this. Okay, so now that we're coming to the end, I want to know, where do you see yourself in like 5 years? 3 to 5 years.
Okay, girl, I got a big dream. So guys, tell me. Let's see. We're going to reflect back on this video one day. I'm manifesting it as I speak. I'm putting it into the universe. So everyone follow me here. I want a studio. Let's say I don't want. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have a studio that's fully running itself. So I want employees fully booked and busy. I want my academy to be as well almost running itself. So the curriculum, the manual, all the work that I've put into it, I want that to be executed, but not by me. I am now elevating my artists, my employees into instructors. So they will be teaching the curriculum. And I hate to say it, but this is going to be my one little celebrity moment where I'll walk in on the last day and be like, hey guys, how was class? They're going to be like, oh my God, it's Tali. That's going to be my moment, right?
Love that.
That's going to be my moment where I'm going to be like, oh my God, you guys are doing so good. I'm so proud of all of you. You know, because I don't do that ever. I never have my celebrity moments, but that's going to be my celebrity moment. That's where I'm going to be like, guys, just get ready because my celebrity moment is coming. Aside from that, though, I have just started taking on mentees. So artists looking to become instructors. So now I've started a curriculum for that. And I have my first artist now, and he's from Minnesota.
Oh my God.
And I am literally helping him transition his studio into an academy as well. So that is what I want to be doing, traveling, doing that, hopping from state to state, helping other artists become instructors and being their mentor. And then the last part of that is I want to be a traveling artist. So I travel now to Orlando and to LA. I would love to be in Paris one day doing brows or teaching or helping other artists in their studios and just literally sitting at a cafe and calling my assistant like, hey girl, how's everything going? So sky's the limit for me at that point. I mean, sky's the limit. If I can open more studios, I'll be doing that as well.
Well, you heard it here first, guys.
There's no limit here. I mean, I have multiple areas of where things need to be running and where I'm gonna be, and that's where I'll be in 5 years.
I can't wait to come
catch me there. You'll see
to this episode in 3.
Maybe that's where I'll cry, right? Maybe that's where I have my moment and be like. So, and in Paris, watching this on my laptop, like.
So it's so important to write things down because of this. You can come back to it, just like we're gonna come back to this.
Putting it into the universe,
and we're putting it into the universe. We're gonna come back here, and we're gonna see you.
We're gonna be doing
on Instagram, sipping your coffee in Paris
with my little side hat, having my cute moment. But no, I am so thankful for you having me here. I'm thankful for you being a mentor as well, because don't let her fool you. I'm not here because I'm the big boss. This is the big boss right here. This is the big boss. Like I'm just like the energy that you were giving at the appointment when I first met you, I was like, how did you do it? Like, I'm in awe. And I know, again, we both do that black hole situation.
Yes.
But I'm like.
I just want everybody, and just want everybody, this is why I started this podcast, to be as successful as they can be, as they want to be.
It's as you want to be. That's the key word. Is
yeah, you
as
have
successful
to want
as
it.
you want to be. Because if you don't want it, you can just say I want it, but no, you really need to have it.
Yeah.
Like you need to want it. You need to feel like that buildup of energy inside where you're just like, where do I put this?
Yep.
Where do I put it? Because if not, this, like the accomplishments that you've made is like insane. Like the fact that we're here, I'm just like,
thank you.
Girl, wait, what is next? I love that I get to be on this journey with you. Like, you're on my journey, but like I'm on yours.
I feel like
I'm like, oh, this is great. And you've been so great, like helping me even with the employees. I know I've messaged you and I'm like, how did you feel about this? Like letting go, or like, how did you get your employees booked and busy? Yeah. Because you have a salon that's running itself. That is literally magic.
It's
magic.
So important
it's cool
to have that circle and those people that you can come to.
It's so crazy. I'm like, that's
thanks,
that's magic.
Girl.
That's magic.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for
having me,
sharing your story and giving guidance like you always do.
No, always. Anyone can do it, genuinely.
And
we were where you guys were.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
We were literally where you are, and that's my biggest message is there's no special business school, college. Like, yes, that's great. I wasn't born rich. I don't have any entrepreneurs really in my family that I was there for guidance. Like, I literally just I was winging it.
Yeah.
And I got to where I am. And like, I'm just like, I'll keep winging it some more. Maybe
we'll fuck around and find out.
I mean, this seems to be working. So throw the fishing line out a few more times. Let's see what happens. You know, what we hook in.
Yes.
And that's it.
All right, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, and we'll find you on the next episode of Cameo Renee Podcast.
Yeah.
While we fuck around and find out.
Love that.
Thanks for being here with me today. It's always appreciated if you would like, share, or drop a comment about what you think. And of course, remember to do what the fuck you want because you deserve it. See you next time. As always, sending love and positive vibes.